So I'm going to get into a little bit about my feelings with Romelu Lukaku and what's going on at Chelsea. Now, before I start, please have a look at my other channel, the David Watson Podcast. The link will be in the description. If you enjoy this or something else you'd like to hear me talk about, please like, subscribe and comment. So, Romelu Lukaku and Chelsea. My take on this, my personal opinion, is this is just becoming a modern problem with players, with social media, with player power, with agent power, where they just get to say what they want and vent whenever they want, however they want. And I think, I believe any of us would find it difficult sometimes in any job we have. And you must remember, you mustn't forget, to them, football is a job that you start venting. Even the best paid execs, the supervisors, everybody at every job, we all vent when we don't think we're being fairly treated. And Lukaku's a striker. And I've never heard anyone in football say that strikers aren't selfish and self-centered and narcissistic. They have that desire to score goals. That instinct comes with the team must serve me so that I can score. Otherwise, what's the point of me being here? And I think that's probably partly where he's coming from. Do I think he's wrong? Yeah, I do. Because I don't buy into I wish I'd never had to leave Inter. You left Inter the minute you were going to have to take a pay cut. And I'm not suggesting you didn't enjoy your life in Italy. I'm not suggesting that Inter's not your favourite club. But everybody knows Inter had to let you go because of their financial fair play regulations, because they're financially in trouble. If Inter meant that much to you, you could have gone and played for them. You could have stayed. You could have said, I'll take a pay cut, because that means more to me than going anywhere else. And you don't see many examples of it, but there are a few. Man United famously had people like Scholes and Neville's who were lifelong players. Scholes could have definitely gone and played anywhere in the world. In fairness, Gerrard stuck at Liverpool. He could have gone anywhere in the world. Lampard, who I nearly said, I know he went on to play to Man City, but that's only because Chelsea didn't want to keep him. I seem to be talking about midfielders a lot here. Alan Shearer went to Newcastle. Jamie Vardy stayed at Leicester. They could have all had options to earn more money elsewhere, but they went to clubs for whatever, stayed at clubs or went to clubs for whatever reason. It wasn't all just about money. The earliest one I can probably remember is Matthew Letizia. He definitely had options in his days, but stayed at Southampton. And they all have their own personal reasons for doing it. But the one thing I think that's a lot of modern footballers forget is fans care. To a football fan, that club is their life. And you've just shit on Chelsea fans. Whether you meant to, whether that was the way it was supposed to come across, whether you have every right to say it or you're just having a sulk, you've shit on Chelsea as a club, but more importantly than the club, you've shit on the fans. And it was only a couple of years ago when we had the whole Super League thing come out, and the fans in the Premier League went crazy, and in doing so, stopped some of the world's richest corporations tearing apart the Premier League. And that's how passionate the fans are. And these, you get fans like this around the world at various clubs. But that's how passionate they are. And Chelsea fans deserve better. They just do. Now, I'm not saying I'm a human being, and I would say there's a part of me that's quite businesslike. But if you get paid money to do a job, I expect you to bloody do it. When I get paid to do a job, I expect myself to do that job. I might have a little private moan and a little private vent, but I don't publicly go slagging off the people that pay me. Lukaku is, yeah, he's out of order with the fans, and it's the fans. And I'm not a Chelsea supporter by any stretch, but I am a supporter of football clubs, and I love the way that fans prop these clubs up, and I love the passion for any sport from a fan base perspective, because without fan bases, sports are nothing. And yeah, this modern phenomena, if that's the right way of describing it, that we have with players venting about mistreatment at the club. No, do that behind closed doors. Do that in private. Have respect for the fans. Those fans love you because you pulled on a shirt. They'll ignore the fact that Chelsea paid, was it 97 million for you? They don't care. They just want you to love the club like they love the club. That's all they want. But that's not enough for you, is it? It's for Romelu Lukaku, that's not good enough. And look, I get it. You might be unhappy, but there's a way to conduct yourself. And I think, sadly, in this modern era of social media and football players, a lot of them don't know how to conduct themselves. And I think that's very disrespectful to the fans. Fans deserve better. You can't make someone love a club the way you do. They're being paid. They're being paid. It's wages. It's a job. Very privileged job, a very well paid job. Yeah, for sure. It comes with its own costs. The careers are short. The money might be great, but stretch it out over 60 years. How many of them have got a lot of money left? Don't get me wrong. They're better than most of us. They're doing better than most of us. They really are. But yeah, what goes on in their head? Why? What did he think he was going to gain from that? What, Chelsea going to sell you back to Inter Milan? Tuchel's going to suddenly, we better run around Lukaku now? The Chelsea fans were going to come up with their own little song for poor old Lukaku? What was going on in his head? It's just not the way to conduct yourself. I do, for the Chelsea fan base, for the Chelsea club, and for Lukaku. I hope it sorts itself out. I hope he redeems himself. I hope he shows his football qualities. He's a good striker. He is a quality striker. I hope it resolves itself, because there's nothing worse than having a freeloader on the team who doesn't want to be there but is cashing in. Because for everything that is great about football, these negative stories tarnish everything, tarnish everyone. They tarnish all of the players that love the sport, And as I'm saying that, the person that springs to mind is Jamie Vardy. When Leicester won the Premier League, there were clubs all around the Premier League and Europe that wanted to sign him, and he stayed with Leicester. Yeah, he got a pay rise. He did. Well-deserved pay rise. But he stayed at Leicester. He's like, no, this will do for me. So it tarnishes those guys. You know, the lifelong players. You know, Jamie Carragher is a perfect example of a lifelong player. John Terry, you know, some of the, you know, if you look at some of the players that committed themselves to Chelsea over the years, and you know, Lukaku is fitting those boots. They're the boots you're stepping into. That's the club badge you're pulling on. You know, your John Terry, your Lampard, your Drogba. You know, Dennis Wise, Zola. There's been some club legends. Hasselbank, you know, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. It's had some incredible players over the year, Chelsea. The fans love their club for a reason, good reason. And they deserve better than the way that you're treating them. And that, I think, is the bottom line for me. For me, that's all it's about. The fans deserve better than you right now. And that's a real shame. Because if you knuckled down, did the job you're paid to do, those Chelsea fans would love you forever.